Everybody!
$379 each?
Yeah.
Each?
Yeah. It was what?
Well,
so it's 3.6. So yeah, about. I guess that was like a $15 six-pack. Don't smash it.
Really?
Something like that. Oh, you're gonna open it with a hammer. Clever. Does that work well?
It's a lever.
I mean, yeah, but how well of a lever?
It's mainly catching...
We have a perfectly functioning bottle opener, like literally 2 inches away from your hand.
I got this. I got this.
You are a determined man, sir. When Paul's about to drink beer, he says, "It's hammer time."
How can I open this beer in the most difficult way possible? Hold on, I spilled some.
Well, you know, we did have the tape dispenser. You could have gone for that.
You're right.
Next week we'll tackle that challenge. Welcome everybody to Awesome Hardware, episode 118, Side B. This is a live show that Paul and I do every single Tuesday right here on twitch.tv/awesomehardware at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. We also stream the show to our respective YouTube channels. We like to split it up into 2 halves on YouTube. First half this week is on Paul's channel. You can go ahead and check out that link in the description below of my YouTube channel, or my YouTube video. And then, of course, now we're on to my half. So, sweet stuff. I don't know what Paul's doing. Looks like he's eating or sucking something out of his
beer
out of his ear bud, which is quite the most disgusting thing I've ever seen.
My earbuds are very clean.
It'd only be more disgusting if it was out of my ear.
Very clean earbuds.
Okay, so we are selling stuff on our stores as always. Thank you guys so much for the last half of the episode for picking up stuff. But we are still selling things. We are not sold out of everything yet. So you can go ahead and pick up a fidget spinner, a very one-of-a-kind Bitwit branded fidget spinner, or the new limited edition Navy Bitwit logo shirts. Those are also fun. A lot of stuff on my store.
Where you put it back.
You can also check out Paul's channel, or Paul's store, which is paulshardware.net. Our beautiful moderator cell processing will also be dropping links to our stores in chat for easier access. Go ahead and buy something from Paul's store as well. He's got all kinds of apparel, mugs, glasses, pints, pint glasses, hoodies, all that sort of thing. Did she put something on my head? She put a bottle cap on my head. Okay. We can continue. Let's see.
You didn't notice?
I felt something, but I was so distracted. I can't multitask. I run on a single core, Paul, if you haven't been able to tell. This is the Chronic Ale from Pizza Port Brewing Company. It's an amber ale. It's very delicious. Paul, what are you drinking there?
Meanwhile, I am drinking Augustfinerbrau München.
See, I purposely picked this beer because it's easier to pronounce. Cheers to all of you.
Cheers.
Who are of legal drinking age, drinking along with us. This is also semi an adult show. Not that we show, like, we don't send nudes or anything, but we tend to curse on occasion, only when it's impactful and meaningful and delivered in a smart and intellectual way, of course. Let's move on to our first story. It's really distracting because Wifey Sauce is unboxing a shit ton of stuff out in the hall, so I can hear her. But everything's okay. I'm sure she's totally fine. All right, so our first story
if there's like a squishing sound. Yeah, like
she'd been run over by a steamroller or something.
Yeah,
that would concern me.
Or like,
because I'd be like, nothing out there should be making that
noise.
Or
like if you're fisting a pitcher full of Jello.
Well, that even sound. I want to do it now just to see and record it with this microphone.
Yep, that sounds awesome.
And then I'd upload it on like freesound.org.
You should change the title of your half of the show to "Fisting a Pitcher Full of Jello."
You know what's really sad is that would get more views.
The ideas come to me from time to time.
You are an internet content genius.
Same.
All right, first article of the day, or my half anyways, is about Coffee Lake. These Geekbench benchmarks are getting leaked left and right. Although this comes from a Reddit post, so I guess grain of salt. Of course, we do have the actual logged scores on the Geekbench website. But again, I don't know. Take all this stuff with a grain of salt. Even if this is the genuine marks from these CPUs, we're still early on. Intel's probably still refining things here and there for their 8th generation of Intel CPUs. But here we have the 8700K with a single-thread score of 5,541 and a multi-thread score of 23,996. If you wanted to compare that to Ryzen 7 1700X, we're talking a single-threaded score of 4,070 and a multi-threaded score of 20,987. So quite a bit lower actually than the flagship Coffee Lake i7 that will be coming out. Again, if these are all accurate and true. It's kind of interesting that even with the 6 cores and 12 threads, that the i7 Coffee Lake is actually outperforming the 1700X in the multi-threaded benchmark. Because as you guys know, the 1700X does have 2 more cores and 4 more threads than the flagship Coffee Lake part here.
Now, I'm assuming that's at stock, right?
It was not specified, but
For the
when it's
at
not
least
specified,
for the 1700X.
yeah,
Okay.
I would think so.
So
If you were to overclock on all cores, all 8 cores, then perhaps we have a bit closer of a matchup here. But promising things at any rate from Coffee Lake. The 8700, just in case you're curious, scored 5,539 points on the single-threaded score on the test, and multi-threaded test scored 22,249. I guess you could possibly maybe compare that to the Ryzen 7 1700.
Wait, which one are you talking about? 8700?
The 8700, yeah. Which is basically like the 8700K minus the hyper-threading. So you're just not getting any threads, just 6 cores. But also scored higher than the Ryzen 7 1700 by, I don't know, looks like quite a big margin. Definitely a wider margin than what the 8700K and 1700X saw against each other. And then there's the i5, the Core i5 8400, which I believe is going to have. Do you know if the 8400? I forget. Is that a 4 or 6 core? 6 cores. 6 cores apparently, according to this listing.
Oh.
With a single-threaded score of 4,991 and a multi-threaded score of 19,799. Again, it's really exciting sometimes to look at these scores and sort of daydream about what these chips are going to be able to achieve. But as you guys know, Paul and I are only concerned with getting the real engineering samples in our studios, our offices, our garages, and testing them for ourselves. Or what?
What?
I won't ask again. And finding out for ourselves once we have those numbers for you guys. But exciting stuff nonetheless. Let's talk about our next story, which is about HTC thinking to sell its entire Vive VR branch, which is news to me. This is an article from ibtimes.com. I saw a lot of other publications reporting on this as well. This seems like HTC is kind of on the rocks financially these days, especially after they kind of fell from their initial smartphone fame. They were really the first company to ever bring to market to the mass audience a smartphone running like Linux-based Android software. They were huge. I remember the HTC Thunderbolt was like one of the first smartphones ever, and it was super cool. But now that whole market has been taken over by Apple and Samsung, and HTC is kind of no longer in the running. They've kind of fallen behind the times, so they're losing money like a mother effer. They actually dropped 75% of their value over the last half decade or so, which is crazy. So now they're considering selling their entire Vive branch, the entire VR business, just to stay afloat. And that's kind of sad because VR is really the only part of the business, according to the article, that's doing well. Everything else is sort of shit at this point. And there's also been some talks of HTC even selling its entire company to a bigger company, like Google or something like that. There's also, skepticism that would happen because, I don't know, that would be a pretty big acquisition. It makes more sense for them to just sell one branch of their business instead of the whole thing. But it remains to be seen. This is all sort of up in the air at this point. It would be kind of interesting to sort of think about who HTC would sell their Vive VR branch to. Who would take that over and what they would do with that IP and that product. I don't personally have anyone in mind for who would get the job done best, but I just hope it falls into some good hands, because I've personally been a Vive fan, been a Vive fanboy over the Oculus Rift, ever since I got both units, and there's a special place in my heart for VR, for sure. I think it's still very much in its infancy, so that's why it hasn't taken off into the mainstream yet. But I would hate to see everything that HTC's worked towards with Vive and VR to kind of just get slaughtered or fall to pieces, because there really isn't much competition in the market apart from, Vive and Rift.
What if they did like a rebranding campaign?
If they rebranded,
Yeah.
but they were still under HTC.
They should try to scoop up a different part of the market, and they should rebrand from HTC to THC.
I knew it. I just knew it as soon as you said. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Just saying.
Yep.
If they
Make it affordable for stoners and make it like
kind of controversial, right? Get the
that
controversy up in there.
That gets picked up by the news.
Just
the
saying.
newses. All the newses would be all over that shit. THC Vibe.
I would buy a THC Vive. Come on.
A THC Vibes.
Completely new VR experience. Immersive. Okay.
It's like a pot smoking simulator, but you actually it's actually a real bong. Comes with a real
Vive
bong.
would be one of those like the mask,
like the gas masks.
Yeah, the gas mask bongs or whatever. Like those,
Would there be a visor on it and just get filled up with smoke? Oh, the smoke's so real. It's so lifelike. Oh wait, that's real smoke.
Yep.
So hopefully Paul acquires the Vive branch. Honestly, I see it in no better hands.
Just saying.
But we'll have to see for sure. Really quick, Vega RX Vega 56 launched yesterday. Big whoop.
How many people bought it at $399?
How many people? Raise your hands in chat if you bought, or if you were able to buy an RX Vega 56 yesterday at the time of launch. And please tell us in chat how much you paid for it. I'm very curious. Apparently, it was going around on Amazon and Newegg for the suggested MSRP, which is $399 US. Which
Stock on Amazon lasted 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Wow.
Stock on Newegg lasted a few seconds.
Wow.
Is the maid really vacuuming right now?
You mean short?
I didn't know you had a maid.
She's fired. I fired her. It's good. We're all good.
Sorry for wanting to keep the office clean.
Yeah, you know what? That sounds like something fired people say. We can carry on.
She just wanted a clean break.
It's just after the divorce, things have been rough.
That would be challenging. All right. Let's all move on as if Kyle's checking.
Let's move on. In life, in this episode, PCIe Gen 4 coming this year.
Oh. Really?
What a transition.
In what? Where?
Coming
How?
where? Yeah, I don't know. Well, No, I don't.
We'll see it. It says we'll see it.
We'll see it around. Maybe not from, a mainstream graphics card manufacturer like AMD or Nvidia, but implemented elsewhere. This is an article from Tom's Hardware
Fatter. It's a fatter
talking
arrow.
about PCI SIG or PCI SIG, which is the organization that defines all of these PCIe bus and form factor specifications. PCIe Gen 4 is interesting because it has sort of broken the 4-year release cycle that PCI SIG generally follows. So PCIe Gen 3 has been out now for nearly 7 years. So there's definitely a wide gap there. Kind of like how Intel fell short of their own TikTok cadence with Broadwell and stuff like that. But here we have some representatives from the organization blaming the delay of PCIe Gen 4 to industry stagnation, basically saying that it wasn't until the last 2 years that PCIe Gen 3 had begun to slow things down and really show its age and other deficiencies. For example, artificial intelligence has been more demanding than ever in the last couple of years. Storage devices have been migrating to the PCIe bus in the form of the NVMe protocol. For example, network networking has suddenly developed this insatiable appetite for more bandwidth. So all of these factors have really put the fire under PCI SIG's ass to get their rears in gear and really bring PCIe Gen 4 to spec. And so they have confirmed that Gen 4 will be ratified by the end of this year. Very, very nice. Some IP vendors are already offering 16 gigatixel per second controllers. Gigatransfer, sorry. Controllers, and many vendors have also already implemented PCIe Gen 4 PHYs. What does PHY stand for? I didn't have time to look that up.
I know.
PCIe Gen 4 PHYs, into their next-gen products, using the 0.9 revision, whereas the final ratified spec will be using 1.0. It will be debuting at 1.0 revision. The organization also claims Partnership for Healthy Youth, PHY, PCIe Gen 4 Partnership for Healthy Youth.
Physical layer function.
Or physical layer function.
PHY connects a link layer device, such as a Mac, like media access control, to a physical medium, such as an optical fiber or copper cable.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
I understand now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It makes perfect sense. I can thoroughly explain this to my grandparents. The organization claims that it's speeding up the development and feedback processes along with simplifying early spec revisions just so that it can reduce the time that it takes to bring the spec to market, because it's already long overdue. They also say that 4.0 PCIe Gen 4 will be short-lived because they're already fast-tracking PCIe Gen 5 for a 2019 arrival. Which is weird because they had this 7-year gap for PCIe Gen 3. PCIe Gen 3, every PCIe generation before that has been 4 years. PCIe Gen 3 was 7 years, and now they're going to have a 1-year gap for PCIe Gen 4. Like, why? Why even?
Seems hasty.
Yeah, I don't understand. Why PCIe Gen 4 is going to be outdated in a year? It just seems silly. It'll be interesting to see what NVIDIA and AMD use. That's for sure. But that's all. That's all for news. That's all for tech news. We can move on to other things, such as Pimp My PC.
Yay, Pimp My PC.
This is a segment where you guys send in pictures of your PCs, and Paul and I tell you how they suck and how you can make them better. Except we're not
aesthetically
quite as harsh. Aesthetically, of course. First one is from Eduardo. Eduardo, thank you for submitting your PC for critique. You've got a Ryzen 5 1500X in your system with a B350M Gaming Pro motherboard from MSI, a GTX 1080 Ti from EVGA, a PNY SSD, 2 1TB hard drives, and a G.Skill Ripjaws 5 kit. Just one Ripjaw. You don't even get Ripjaws. You get one
Ripjaw.
You get a Ripjaw. You know what? Okay. I was freaking out for a minute because it just looked like there was no actual DIMM slots on the motherboard, but it's there.
There is two.
There are two, yeah. It's just kind of hard to see. But, okay. I like the black and red theme here. You kind of match that up, right? You got a red stick of memory to match the little heatsink accents on your motherboard. There's a red SATA cable coming from your hard drive. That's
one of the boldest SATA cables I've ever seen.
Yeah,
it's like, look at me. You can see exactly where my origin and destination is.
Yep. It's like a homeless guy just defecating all over the walls of a bathroom. Oh yeah, Paul, you weren't there for that. But I think what you should do is...
That's what happened in your bathroom? Never.
No. The bathroom's here.
Oh, what?
In the office.
That's why there's a key.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're smart. I think maybe if you could flip around the hard drive so that the red SATA cable isn't just glaringly routing around that way. It just seems a little gratuitous and unnecessary for it to be traveling that distance. I feel like there is a little bit of space behind your motherboard tray where you can route any excess and kind of stash it.
The black cable, there's another 3.5-inch drive below it with a black cable, which is, it's a lot more modest.
Well, yeah.
It's tucked in a little bit.
But why not just face them the other way?
Also, it looks like the 24-pin goes all the way up here, so it can come all the way back down here. Maybe he was just making use of excess room.
I think he was just trying to use up the...
on it or something. All right. So this is a budget system that is suffering from budget system syndrome, which is like a very spare and sparse motherboard with not a lot of excess, not 4 DIMM slots and barely any SATA plugs and like really just not a lot going on. And
It's a good set of parts though for a budget build.
Yeah.
Like it all seems fairly well balanced, and I'd be curious to know what speeds your stick of RAM is running at with Ryzen. But I think the hard drive is that SATA cable is really killing me the most. Plus, you've got the sticker still on the cable. There's no reason for that.
You can pull the sticker off.
No reason.
At least.
I mean, since we're talking about aesthetics here, if there's a way that you can kind of clean up the 24-pin ATX, route it through the closest grommet instead of the furthest grommet away from it, or cable routing hole, and sort of just kind of tuck away the cables so that you don't see them through the routing holes once you put on that back side panel. I think that could clean up the look a bit more.
Could help.
And apart from that, pretty nice job.
Yeah.
There's no color clashing of any kind, really. And
also, let's
good balance of
translate this
hardware.
from Lithuanian.
Oh,
Could not translate. Thanks, Bing.
wait, what did it try to translate? I didn't even
Wanted
see
to
any.
translate this tweet from Lithuanian to our language. but it failed.
Apparently, PC specs is just bad Lithuanian.
Exactly. All right, next up is Raze.
Raise.
He's got an i5 3570K, 16 gigs of RAM, GTX 750 Ti for the win. Now, if you know me, you probably know the first thing I'm going to say, which is computer off floor.
Ah!
Computer off floor. All right, you've at least got the bare minimum of
It's
like you have a
not on
little
the
piece of
carpet.
wood or something. It's not directly on the carpet there, but you're sucking up so much more dust into the system down here. It's a bad situation. It's also got this like power strip of shame like sitting on top of it there. Like that's a crappy power strip. That power strip, any fuses in that power strip are long dead. It's not doing anything besides providing more plugs.
It's just
And
a
it-
power strip
yeah.
and not a surge protector.
I've never seen anyone actually put the EVGA sticker on a system, especially externally here, so I guess I have to applaud your boldness there.
I'd also have to think that it's probably not running at max.
Yeah.
It's the sticker's false advertising.
All right, we have a Antec Neo Eco 400 watt power supply with some pretty hideous cables going on here. We have what looks like a Hyper 212 variant, possibly with, I think,
A Cougar fan.
a Cougar fan installed onto it, which is interesting, color scheme wise. 5¼ inch bay, 3.5 inch drive.
The rear exhaust fan bothers me because you could have just rotated the fan to hide the cable a lot better instead of routing it
This one
around.
here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Just
Yeah,
rotate your fan so that the cable's already on face like in the back. That way you don't have to do this kind of weird sort of routing.
I mean, granted, you're looking at there's no good cables in this case. All of the cables are awful.
The power supply is partially to
cables
blame.
suck. The case cables, I mean, these cables coming from the case for for like your front panel connectors have this rainbow bright
Oh,
feel,
yeah.
with the rainbow and the white
Right.
in between, and like the beige cable for what probably I'm guessing is USB 3 maybe, or maybe a pass-through,
Yep.
something like that.
And why would you have an external hard drive internally placed on your power supply when you have
What?
plenty of when you have plenty of room in your hard drive cage
Hold on.
to natively support.
Let's not cast judgment on people who
Oh, you're gonna
install
bring that up.
external hard drives
You're gonna bring that up.
internally.
That was a situation of desperation.
Necessity
my
was
friends.
required,
Necessity. It was pure necessity.
and
That was survival.
we were
The stakes were high.
we had limited amount of time.
We had 2 days, not the rest of our lives.
All
Anyway,
right, so I don't know what to say about this system. It's a little outdated, and it's lacking a lot of the base level features to make things look pretty. So
yeah, I think a new power supply with black cables would help a lot.
yeah,
If you gave the case a good cleaning,
but
got
then you
power
need a new
supply-
case, and
No,
then
not necessarily.
well, I mean, if you want to get rid of the front panel cables and the whatever that beige.
Where are
crappy-
they even going? Are they going behind the motherboard
Like this
tray, or are they
beige
going-
cable here, I'm guessing this is one of those cases that launched in that infernal
That's
time
USB probably.
when USB 3 had come out, but there was no USB 3 front panel, so that's probably a pass-through
Mm-hmm.
going to the back. And I don't blame you for plugging it in, but it's just there's not a lot to be done here without a fairly significant system overhaul.
Yeah.
Generally
Case
speaking,
and power supply are
your
your
cable
limiting
management
factors.
is okay. I mean, you got decent airflow and everything, so there's nothing to be ashamed of there. It's just, yeah, you're looking at a new system, I think, to make things look too much prettier than
Yeah.
they are.
Yep. Well, thank you very
Jacob!
much, Race. Jacob, EVGA Jacob!
All right, he built the system for PAX West.
Yes.
Look at that.
Wow. He built it?
That's what he says.
I believe he built it. Jacob's a...
Look, it's
PC
got
building
RGBs
god.
in it.
Those are
It
some
has
interesting
the,
modules.
The
Are the-
EVGA
is that
1080 Ti with the shroud, the different colored shroud you can get. It's got, I believe this is a Team Group memory kit.
Team Group. I see. Did he spray paint that EVGA graphics card?
No, I was just saying that's the 1080 Ti with the different shrouds and different colors that you can get.
Oh, I forgot they did that.
Yeah,
Right.
everything but purple.
Yeah, what the hell?
It'd be cool if
Why not purple?
if it was purple. Look at the case though. It's got EVGA
Yeah, that's nice.
branded little nubs.
Yeah, it's
Little
like having
nubs.
like customized cufflinks, but they're
That's
thumb
kinda cool.
screws. And is this one of their cases? I think it is. This is
I
one
mean,
of
if it's got EVGA nubs on it, then maybe. EVGA does make some cases.
they do.
Oh, ADATA. That might be ADATA RAM. We're hearing it's ADATA from
Okay,
chat.
I was gonna say, I was like, it looks like ADATA, but and of
It's
course
the
nice.
ADATA RGB herpes RAM.
Of course, the nice Z270 board from EVGA as well. They're using the power link.
It'd be cool if there were some more RGB LEDs on this motherboard. I feel like it's kind of lacking some RGB
Yeah.
LEDs.
Yeah, I get that vibe.
All right, if we're being critical here, this looks like a very clean and high-end system. I feel like some cable extensions could be nice here.
Mm.
And EVGA, let's be honest here, you guys make cable extensions. I know you make power supplies and cable extensions. They're not like the super premiumist of the premium, like or anything like that, but they're nice.
Yeah.
I think one of those sets could have really topped things off here.
And it would have showcased more of
Yeah.
your product lineup at PAX.
It would have. Like your all right. So we've got the EVGA power link here as well, which is in a weird situation because the card is already rotated 90 degrees, and then the power link is.
No, that makes sense because
All right. Yeah, it doesn't look bad. It looks fine.
because the cables don't have to peek out as much.
But again, here the cables being sleeved or something like that, I think would look a bit nicer.
Yeah, if they were sleeves, yeah.
That's our main critique. But Jacob, thank you for participating and sending in that
Yes,
system. It is
indeed.
it's very pretty, very clean.
Indeed. Thank
And
you very much.
good
sir.
luck at PAX West.
Yep.
Is that right now? Is that
I have no idea.
sweet? I don't know.
We're totally out of the game.
All right,
Safi.
Safi.
Safi or Safi, Safi
7600K?
132, 7600K at 4.9 gigahertz, 16 gigs of cheapo RAM, a GTX 1080 Ti Superclock 2, and an old power supply from Be Quiet, which I'm going to replace soon. Not me, but Safi. Okay, cool. Let's see. Wow, these pictures. I didn't really look at the pictures
replace that
very
power
much.
supply.
Replace the power supply, because, oh my god, those cables.
Replace your camera.
Oh my god, replace your camera.
Maybe a new camera.
Replace your your picture taking skills. Let's see. Man, oh man. What case is this?
It looks kind of like a Fantex, but no. It looks like the window makes me think, oh, it's a Fantex M2.
It's NZXT, I
But
think.
no, it's an NZXT.
Oh yeah, it is. I
Okay.
can tell from the thingy. The little 5 1/4
Oh
inch.
yeah, it looks like an NZXT fan on there.
So, okay, a couple things here. Cables are hideous, so replace the power supply.
Yeah, I mean, he's already said old power supply from Be Quiet, which I'm going to replace soon.
Yeah.
That is very, very obviously and clearly the number one thing you should swap.
Right.
It doesn't even have the barest minimum of sleeving on it, and it's all brightly colored cables going to your 8-pin, your 24-pin, and your
I didn't even know they made power supplies like that.
Yeah, so this is pretty bad. Beyond that, you've got a big gap here by your drive cages. You should really tidy up the cables there, tuck them all, tie them all back behind the the motherboard tray if you can.
Yeah.
Granted, you can't see that with the side panels on, but still, you're sending in pictures to Pimp My PC, so that's what we're going to talk about.
Yep. Maybe upgrade some your RAMs to have some nicer modules in there.
RAM could definitely look a lot nicer.
It just looks a bit bare bones. IMO.
Yeah.
Can upgrade the look of your system a bit if you add some bling there. Maybe a rear exhaust fan instead of just the top two. Might fill out the case a little bit more, and also mask off some of the I/O ugliness that's going on in the back there. Because you
can get rid of that Intel Gigabit Ethernet sticker.
You could remove that, but it's still just not the prettiest. I think a nicer looking fan that maybe matches the top two of your case would look pretty cool.
Yeah.
Kind of complete it, tie it together. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you very much, Safi. Or Safi. Zekrid. Details are in picture A. Okay, picture... Don't really know what that means.
An FX 6300 Black Edition at 4.4 gigahertz, a 1 terabyte Western Digital black hard drive, 250 gig Samsung SMSI 970 gaming motherboard that is leaking something from the VRM area. Not sure what it is. Cooler Master Hyper 212 Evo, Corsair, power supply.
That's not good.
All right, we got the full desk set up here.
You should take that 970 back to
Superstar Destroyer up in the top corner. Got to give him props for that, as well as the VW bus there. I like that.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Okay. Moving on to the internals. A vertical orientation for the CPU cooler. That's fine. Your PCB on your 3.5 inch hard drive stands out significantly in this configuration.
Yeah.
I
don't know if there's much you can do about it. I mean, unless he got 5. You know what you could do? Zekrid?
It's just a loose.
You could buy like a 5 1/4 inch to 3.5 inch adapter, since you do have looks like a 5 1/4 inch bay. That way you could mount the
computer
hard drive
off floor.
Up there.
Sorry, computer's on the floor. I'm just now realizing. Computer off floor. There's an Apple sticker on the front. I mean, okay. Maybe it's a Hackintosh.
Maybe he's being ironic.
All right, yeah. Your cable management's pretty awful here. Your case is this a fractal case with the vertical?
Maybe like a Core 1000.
I believe this is a fractal case, yeah.
It looks, yeah, because you can tell from the white PCI expansion slots.
Yeah, which also means that there's not a whole lot of cable management options in here either. But I do feel like this kind of mess of stuff down towards the bottom.
That can be cleaned up.
Yeah, that can be cleaned up.
Just shove it to the front of your case. Like shove it behind that. You use the hard drive mounting wall as sort of a blockage to hide some of that.
Even
mass.
take your hard drive here from the top and move it down to the bottom.
Yeah.
And that way it could even hide some of the cables down there and stuff.
Then he covers up the video card.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Just go full SSD.
Go all.
Just ditch your hard drive entirely.
Ditch the hard drive.
Get another Samsung 850 EVO. They're pretty cheap these days, and call it a day. If you really wanted to go for aesthetics.
Okay.
Nice little budget build though.
Yeah.
Not very budget. I mean, he's got a 970 in there. GTX 970 is pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good card.
Still kicks ass. All right, Brian, last but not least, a Core i5 4690K, overclocked to 4.8 gigahertz at 1.32 volts, 8 gigs of RAM, and EVGA GTX 970, and a 450D from Corsair. Forgive my condiment cables. Haha. You were not forgiven, first off, so you will be sentenced to death. But in the meantime, looks pretty good. Cable management's on point. Again, you'd have to replace those cables or get some extensions to clean the look up a bit, so we're not looking at ketchup and mustard all day. Looks like you've got some Noctua fans up there at the top. I'd like to see...
It's on the AIO.
Oh yeah, on the AIO. I'd like to see all Noctua fans of that color and style across your case. At the rear, at the front.
That'd look cool.
I think that would look cool. Sort of different. Those fans are great, and they're fairly affordable for Noctuas. They perform well, and I feel like they don't get used as much as their other line of fans. But yeah,
trying to figure out what
Stock 'em
this
full.
expansion card is right here.
That's is
Might
probably
be just
Ethernet.
an Ethernet, maybe, or like a 10 gigabit Ethernet.
Possibly. It
Yeah.
looks pretty tiny.
Hard to say.
You could remove the power supply sticker if you wanted to just sort of black that out. Not a huge deal, but I don't know. I don't like seeing like charts or like I don't like seeing like lots of information.
How will you
in my
know
system.
whether it's got a single or double 12 volt
don't
rail, Kyle?
care, Paul.
All right.
It's got the wattages. It's got enough wattages, okay? It looks like there's a cable that's coming from your the AIO water block that's going across your VRM heatsink that looks kind of like it could be tucked better. I don't know if that's if that is straight from the water block or if I don't know what that is, but it's distracting to me. There's just barely like I think that might be like your USB 3 cable or something like that. That's being shown right above the hard drive cage. You can see there's a little bit of cabling against the backside of your motherboard tray. Maybe you could tuck that away so that it looks a bit cleaner as well. I tend to do that with builds that I build.
Also, I didn't see this, Brian, because I haven't been following Twitter quite as thoroughly, but apparently he also tweeted to me. July 8th? Wow, that was a long time ago. It says, send nudes to Paul.
That's on his to-do list?
Send notes to Paul, I think. He saw it at IKEA. Anyway, wanted to point that out to you.
Good to know.
Sorry, Brian, I didn't catch that. But, yeah. Good advice.
Yep.
Excellent advice.
Yep.
The best advice.
Thank you all for submitting your entries to Pimp My PC. We will be doing this segment again in another week. So if you didn't get picked this week, don't worry about it. Don't cry. You might have a chance later. Let's move on to our last segment of today's episode, which is Mail Time! Where you guys send us mail and we open up your care
Yay.
packages and hope they're not bombs. Let's start with our first one, which Paul actually pointed out that it seems to be covered in blood. So we have what seems to be here, a blood sacrifice from our first sender.
There's a smear of blood.
Who is, what is that? I can't read it. It's all...
It says
Something micro?
Sarah's Miro.
Someone from Kentucky. Friend from Kentucky.
The
I hope
entire state of Kentucky.
I hope this is not real blood. Otherwise, I'm very scared to see what's in the rest of this package. Let's have a look, though, shall we? Ha ha ha. Okay.
Let me see this.
You take... Okay, this is a serial ATM. This is a SATA cable. A red SATA cable. Is this a coincidence, Paul? That we have received a red SATA cable after specifically critiquing a red SATA cable on Pimp My PC just 5 minutes ago.
That's insane.
That is Illuminati times a million.
Okay, so
I'm terrified.
this was an Amazon order. Someone ordered this from Amazon and had it sent to you because the address on here is an Amazon fulfillment center.
Okay.
Citrus Micro. Citrus Micro.
Citrus Micro. Thank you for the red SATA cable. Okay, it's a 40-inch SATA cable. It's a very long SATA cable.
Was there a note? Did they include a note?
There is
Why is Amazon...
no note.
Why is there blood?
Yeah. I don't know. It's like the guy who was
Amazon
handling the
Fulfillment
package.
Services is really riding their employees.
This is really strange. I mean, like, there's no note. These are just Amazon receipt things, and it's just a red SATA cable. A
That's all they
red
sent you.
40-inch. You know what's weird is that it's like a red SATA cable, and there's like blood on the envelope. There's no note. It seems like kind of a death threat. Just saying.
Yeah, just a regular SATA cable.
Just a plain old SATA cable with caps.
It's, when you buy a SATA cable, it comes with caps on the end.
I don't know if it always comes with caps, but
Well, I mean,
this one does. Interesting. I feel like someone's watching me right now.
A little creeped out.
Besides all of you.
What's next?
Next, we've got Bigler. Mr. Bigler. Didn't Bigler send you something recently?
I believe so.
Bigler sounds...
We did mail time on my half of the show last week.
Yep.
So that's why I don't really have much for today, because I didn't.
Totally fine.
My mailbox was empty. But
hey, I got a flamingo shirt too.
Another
Tuxedo Flamingo. Tuxedo Flamingo. Tuxedo Flamingo. Oh. For all of your tuxedo needs.
And flamingo.
No, not flamingo needs, Paul.
No, just what?
We found this out last week that he was in the tuxedo, the business of tuxedos, and not of flamingos. Two very different things that somehow come together beautifully on this shirt. Okay, thank you, Bigler, and some pictures of builds that you've previously worked on. They all look fantastic. Probably a better job than I could do.
Just show the people.
Oh, there's a letter in here too. There we go. Is it the same one?
Possibly.
It's Jason. He's 26 years old. He lives in Montana, and he started to build his first gaming computer ever about 2 years ago. He's watched a ton of my videos and got inspired. There's a lot of stuff here. Black and white. So the black and white build is his tuxedo build. Get it? Because it's a tuxedo.
It's
clever. And the NZXT Manta. Hey,
I
we're
like
Manta
the
bros.
black and white one here with the pink accents. Is
is
pretty
fun.
cool. This one, that one there.
Yeah, cool.
It's fun.
Awesome. Thank you very much for the letter, Jason. I'll be sure to read the rest of it later on. Cool. I'm always looking for new T-shirts. Honestly, I will probably wear that one.
That's not going anywhere, right? That's not a completed build. That's all I'm saying.
Well, it doesn't even have fluid in it, so I mean, yeah. It's looking pretty good though. Like, I'd love to see that all finished.
Yeah, like
It's
I
looking-
said,
it's
that's a
looking
nice, that's a
really
cool
nice.
build.
Looking real nice.
Not gonna
Real
knock
nice.
it in any way,
Right.
shape, or
Yeah.
form.
Yeah. All right, and then this is from our good friend Brian,
This is
aka
Brian.
Maraxut. He's the guy who has also sent Paul and I our own cornhole boards and our own graphic T-shirts with like our own faces animated on the shirts. It's like he's amazing. He does all kinds of cool stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing what the hell he sent us this time. Paul is going to use a hammer ineffectively to open up the box when I have a box cutter about 2 feet away. Stop it, Paul! Stop it! You're reckless! You're reckless! The doctor told you not to do that anymore. What am I going to do with
Trying
you?
to open the package. I'm good at unboxing.
No, you're not. The worst. Alright. Here we go. Ah!
Be careful.
Just kidding. Alright.
dangerous,
What have
guy.
we got in here? Ooh, is this cocaine? Lots of cocaine. No, this is not cocaine. This is
Bank
a...
of the West.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Bank of the West. Drive up currency coin envelope
Okay.
filled with
He's
drugs.
just sending you money now.
Drug money!
What if it's just like a bunch of... Fuck. What the fuck? What?
Whoa, 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 whoa. Should I be putting my fingerprints on this right
Yeah,
now?
is this... What is that? They're all ones. Okay, they're all ones. Why?
Like, there's at least...
What?
There's gotta be at least like 50 ones in here. Like, this is the fattest stack of cash I've ever seen. And then on top of
I
that,
feel...
we have a letter.
Oh, good. Let's scan this.
Brian, you crazy mofo. I hope it's not like a picture of you naked or something.
What? That's $100. It's 100 cash.
It's 100? What?
Why is he paying us? We're supposed to pay him for that. Alright, so what is that? The one, the pee, and the turd. The turd. Ah, that's pretty good.
Oh my god,
I like that.
This is awesome.
I like that.
So this is
Yeah.
a series of different thermal interface material application methods. We've got the line method, which says good, the P method, which is better, and the turd method, which is Bitwit approved best, because it's often the method that I tend to go with. This is... You cease to amaze me,
Okay,
Brian.
so this package is a bit of a studio warming gift for Kyle. Something to hang up on the wall.
Nice.
Alongside the Awesome Sauce Network cornhole board. And when you guys build cell processing his new system as a thank you for all he's done for you guys and enjoy the show, Kyle introduced an amazing new thermal paste application method that inspired me to make this piece.
Nice.
Kyle, hope you like it. Enjoy. And he says thanks for all the informative and educational content. He had some other information here about, because we talked about the t-shirt stuff, because he's made some t-shirt designs, and we've talked about integrating those before, and we've had positive responses.
Yep.
I did send an email about that.
Oh, did you?
Which was right before John went on his vacation.
And
then John came back from vacation.
It's all John's fault.
And I haven't responded to an email from John in the past 2 months.
Oh my god.
So, I suck, but, you know, it makes it all the more worth it when a process takes a long time to get from, you know, the point A to the point B. That's what I'm going to say here. That's my excuse. So, Brian, thank you again. You've been awesome with all the stuff you sent over.
But seriously, how do you explain this? Like, why? I mean, this is amazing. I'll have that forever.
Because we joked at some point on the show that we're just going to open something from a fan. It's just going to be a stack of money. And that's an impressive... We should have pretended it was hundreds. I really should have not...
You were instantly like, they're all ones! I thought about saying, it's only the outside bills. Only the outside bills are ones, Kyle.
It's like we take the thing out and we're like, this is what it is. That's what I usually do. I didn't think to immediately deceive everyone who's watching us right now.
You always think to deceive. That's the first thing I do to all my viewers.
I should think about that more.
But, I mean, this feels good, man. This feels good. This is at least, like, some weight. This is weight of money.
Substantial.
You know what?
Stack.
I'm not gonna do anything with this. I'm just gonna carry it around with me, and then anywhere I go, I'm like, oh, you guys take cash? Okay. Oh, you take card too? All right, I'll just do card.
Yeah,
and I'll just like put it away
card,
immediately.
yeah.
Like this guy just happens
Just
to carry
keep
around
telling
100
people that you don't have change for anything.
Yep. Or they'll just be like, that guy's going to the strip club. Good lord.
It's also a possibility.
It makes me wonder, like, did he just have all of these? Did he collect these over time? Did he go to the bank and request to pull out $100 in ones? Brian, you're a crazy mofo, and I love you. And thank you so much.
Okay, props. They're all lined up.
They're all lined up, too.
So I used to work a job.
It's important.
All right, full disclosure. I used to twist balloon animals. I know how to twist balloon animals.
Nerd. No, I'm joking. That's very respectful.
Nerd? Like,
no.
Nerd twist balloon animals. No. But I would get cash tips. So whenever I would come away from an event or whatever, or from work, and I have all this cash, and you know you'd always count up all the cash, and you always line them up so that they're all facing the same direction. You know, the president is looking at you with the head facing up. And I just wanted to point out Brian did that with all these ones before they came to Cal. So there we go.
Thank you very much, Brian. I appreciate it, dude. Sorry it took me so long to finally open this, but worth the wait.
Chat, I will... balloon... I have...
Are they talking about your balloon history? Your history with balloon
it's
animals?
Not the type of thing you forget. You don't forget how to do it.
You don't? It seems like exactly the type of thing that I would forget.
So the main
thing... It's been a week.
The main thing I would need is balloons, because I'm pretty sure all the balloons I have are like 8 to 10 years old and would not be still viable for twisting, because they would just pop. So I need to get new balloons. Maybe
some fresh ones. Some freshies.
Maybe at some point I'll get new balloons and I will twist some balloon animals on the live show.
Yeah. That'd be awesome, actually. You could take requests for donations.
It's been long enough. After I stopped doing it for a while, anyone who knew I did it was like, you know how to twist balloon animals? I just like, fuck you. Never.
I will not be the balloon guy.
I'm not your balloon monkey. But no, yeah, I mean, I can do it. I can make a little person and
That's
a little
cool.
motorcycle and put the person on the motorcycle.
I didn't even know that was possible.
Yes.
It's pretty cool, actually.
Yep.
You should do like,
If you send me balloons,
do a PC.
if
do like a
you,
video
If you
card.
send me balloons, I need 260s, 2 inches diameter and 60 inches length.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, like the balloon dimensions and everything.
That's the only kind I used. It's not like it's. Yeah.
We got a professional balloonist over here. Is there an official term for someone who does that?
Swiss balloon?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not really sure.
Balloonist?
But actually, we're in Santa Ana, and this is where I used to come to pick up my balloons. There's a store near here that does. It's like an industrial party supply store. You need to have an account to go in there and buy stuff, and that's where I used to go and buy the balloons. Yeah.
Well, then perhaps in 2 weeks we'll get some balloons in here. Paul can show you his skills, his ballooning skills.
So I said most people know how to make little people. The miracle of life.
Oh, you guys are
I was never a clown. I never dressed up as a clown. I need to make that very clear. I was not a clown. I was a balloon twister.
Clown Paul with the balloons, Clown Paul. You would,
Hey,
you'd make a very
they just redid it, and I don't want to be. I don't want any
scary
association with clowns. Yeah, no Pennywise.
No
Thank you.
Pennywise.
No, thank you. Yeah, I would wear a Hawaiian shirt. That was all. That's just like
just like a clown.
no. Clowns don't wear Hawaiian shirts. They wear
Oh,
stripes
you're a weird Hawaiian clown. That's
Stripey.
exotic.
stuff.
You were into some weird shit. Never seen a clown with a Hawaiian shirt before. Sorry, I'm feeling the fire.
Fire? What fire?
Feeling the flames. Just people in chat.
Oh.
Oh.
Um.
Well,
Is that all?
now I feel like I need to share an interesting background fact about me, but I don't. None of them come to mind. Nothing comes to mind at the moment.
What were you into in college, Kyle?
Weed. Hella weed in college. That was my balloon animal. And my spirit animal. My spirit animal. Funny thing about my spirit animal, it was a plant.
It's also
It wasn't an animal at all, bro. Yeah, there you go. That's my fun fact.
yay.
I smoked lots of weed in college. Somehow I graduated. It's insane.
Just being a good role model for all the kids out there. All right.
Everyone would look up to me. All right.
Let's do some Q&A stuff.
Donations. All right. Kyle's side. Fred rant. $100.
My God.
Good Lord. Fred is back. Fred has returned
Thank you,
from
Fred.
the dead. I post what turned out to be an inappropriate joke on Paul's side. Moderator, let me know.
Oh.
So please take Heather to nice dinner as my way of saying sorry. Wow, Fred. Well, you must have really riled up our moderators.
Yeah,
to some
they
degree.
have a pretty low bar for what's
Yeah.
acceptable.
I'm impressed.
From my understanding,
I'm impressed
so-
that you were actually able to get under their skin. So,
Must have been very violent or bloody or
yeah.
something like that.
That's impressive, sir. So thank you very much, Fred, for the donation. I do appreciate it. Yeah. I was gonna say, moderators, if you ever see Fred posting something vulgar in
let
chat,
Fred post as much
Let him post anything
offensive
he
garbage. As long as there's a $100 donation attached to it, we have no qualms.
everything in this world has a price, doesn't it?
Yep.
Okay. Narcus, $10. Davy Chow. If I ever meet you.
David Chow.
Davy Chow or Thebe. It says Davy Chow. Is that,
I know.
is there any relation?
He's doing a phonetic spelling of the way that
Oh.
you pronounce.
Oh, Davy Chow.
whatever
If, I,
Davy
if I
Chow.
ever meet you, you will sound like Kyle's accent. And if you don't, you will. Been too long since I've made it to a live episode. Been too long since. Number 100. Last time Paul got it here. You go, Kyle. 10 doll hairs.
That's lovely.
Was I supposed to read that in my accent? Is that what that was?
I don't know. It wasn't really made clear.
Yeah.
But
It's
I
very,
mean,
it's a very confusing donation.
I mean,
Wholeheartedly.
The information came across to me. I understood what he was saying.
Yeah.
That's the important part.
Yep, absolutely. Well, thank you very much, Narcus.
Thank
I
you,
appreciate
Narcus.
it. Rod90265. This is my father-in-law. Stop donating,
Rod.
Rodney. Rodney for the $50 donation.
Rod.
Don't want to get crazy, but good job, guys.
Thanks, Rod.
Just a nice pat on the back.
We're
Thanks,
just-
Dad.
We're just trying to keep it real.
There's only like
Keeping it
There's
real.
only like 6 or 7 people in this world that I call dad. Rodney's one of them. Fun fact number 2.
More than most people have, as far as dads go. All right.
Thanks, Rod. I appreciate it. Heather Hansen. Hey, the whole
That's
family's
Kyle's
up in here.
wife.
Can you please take off your shirt? I forgot what you looked like naked. Wow. Love, former wifey sauce. Wow. I don't even
Have you
know
not?
how
Have
to
you not
interpret
been
that.
taking care of things?
I've been
on the home.
I've
front,
been taking
Kyle?
care of business. Anyone who's watched the last pre-roll I uploaded today, no, don't watch that pre-roll actually. Honey, you're gonna have to give me a lot more than $5 if you want to see any of this. All right, this is like the Paul special. All right, Paul gets away with $5, but after our little scuffle earlier today, you're gonna have to. You owe a little bit more than that. I'm sorry. You could take a lesson. You could take a lesson from your father.
Who donated 50?
Donated 50.
Who's
10
willing
times
to
more
throw
than
down
you.
a lot
He's
more
10
money
times the charitable
to see shirtless
donor than you'll
Kyle.
ever be.
That's true.
Fortunately, yeah.
Money talks.
Rodney demanded no such demands.
Money talks.
No such demands. Indeed. Thanks, honey. Matic Ogden for the 5 New Zealand, maybe NZ.
I believe so.
Thanks to you guys that I built my first PC. I have a Core i5 7600K overclocked to 5.2 gigahertz and a GTX 1080 Ti Strix coming. A good CPU GPU combo, or should I get a 7700K? I think you're fine with the 7600K and
good.
that card, unless you really need the multi-threading.
No, especially with that overclock, you're good.
With that overclock, you're totally fine. Unless you're like video editing. If you're video editing, I'd want a hyper-threaded quad-core. But that's the only exception. Everything else, you're totally fine.
Same guy.
Same guy for another 5.
Another 5.
Sorry, Mr. Side Paul, since it's hard for me to watch since work time here in small New Zealand, so Kyle, share the love with Paul. Why, thank you very much. That's very,
Thank you so much for
very
that.
nice of you, sir. Lost Collector, $10. Ryzen 1700 OC to 3.9. Asus GTX 1080 Ti build, gaming/work rig. What would you PC pimps recommend? Dual Asus 27-inch 1440p, 1 millisecond, 144 Hz, or Asus 34-inch ultra-wide 1440p, 100 Hz, or wait for Asus PG35VQ 200 Hz. Damn! I would say get it now. Get that.
Gaming/work. All right.
Wait.
Okay. Hold on. You have to look at the whole picture here.
I do. I see it.
I'm assuming he says single 1080 Ti. He's also got Ryzen 7 1700, which has been appropriately overclocked to 3.9 gigahertz. However, not going to get absolutely every frame out of that 1080 Ti that you can. I would say go for dual 27-inch 1440p high refresh rate. When you game on one of them at 1440p 144 hertz, which the 1080 Ti should match up nicely with. If you go for the ultra wide, I mean, I like the ultra wide experience, but I'm not sure if you're talking about a G-Sync option or not. That would be the other big contributing factor here. Would be whether
At
or
100
not,
hertz, it's probably got G-Sync.
Probably, but there's a $300-400 difference between 34-inch 1440 ultra wides with and without G-Sync.
Well, he didn't say anything about price, so that might not be an issue.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
What concerns me is that your 27-inch 1440p, that's 144 hertz at 1 millisecond. What concerns me is that it might be a TN panel and not an IPS at that very low response time.
Yeah.
So if you were, depending on the work that you're trying to do, the kind of work, if you're doing anything web designer based, graphic design, color correction, editing of any sort, I would recommend highly that you get an IPS over a TN. just for better color reproduction.
So get one 27-inch 1440, 1 millisecond,
For gaming.
144 hertz high refresh rate TN panel that you
Gaming.
game on, and then get another 27-inch 1440p panel where you don't care about the refresh rate, and it's IPS and has really good color depth. And that way you could do your color reproduction stuff on one side and your gaming on the other side and still have both panels for multitasking. That'd be a nice situation. I don't know. There's lots of options. I think you'd have there's pros and cons for each one, but it very much depends on what your main use case is.
Yeah. Good luck.
Hopefully that's helped though. Le
Pros,
Praz.
$5. Eduardo here. That red SATA, it was from an old PC, and I wanted to check if the hard drive works. RAM is 2400, 8 gigs. Plan on OC and adding more later. Thanks. So that was who that was from,
Okay.
apparently. He
Thanks,
wanted to
Eduardo.
check if the hard drive works. So you want me to use that cable? Wait, what?
But it looked like a brand new cable that
It did.
was purchased from Amazon and,
was from-
and shipped to
He
you.
said it was from an old PC. I don't see how that's possible. Didn't look like there was a single speck of dust on it. It still even had like a perfect, nice, natural curve to it.
I don't know what the deal is there.
I think you're an imposter, Lepros. Regardless, I appreciate your $5 donation. We'll have to investigate further. Automatic Matt, $5. 4 weeks without drinking, and now it kicked my ass. Only got 2 shows left, I think, before my ship date. Please, Paul, HTPC vid. Please, Paul, HTPC.
sorry.
HTPC. I just posted my HTPC follow-up video, so you need to post your follow-up HTPC video.
Built the case yourself, did you?
Hey. Tomato, as they say. All right.
My piece of wood apparently has some bugs.
Termites?
In one, I don't think they're termites, but in one very small corner of it, there's a couple very small holes, and the holes have been ejecting little bits of sawdust, and it's making me think.
Sounds like termites.
Well,
That's
there's
what termites
different
do.
different types of beetles and mites and other things like that can get into wood and eat it, and I don't think it's like specifically termites though. But yeah, I'm gonna figure that out.
It's the problem with making your entire case out of wood is that it can get eaten by ants or eaten by bugs.
Yes,
That'll be interesting for
but
the video.
that's one of those things that the kilning process is supposed to kill. But yeah,
Well, good luck with that.
so I'll figure it out.
Hopefully. Dylan Rink, $5. Viewer here from Alaska. Want to send some
Hey.
local brew. Core i5, 7600K, 5.16 gigahertz, 3333 Trident Z, 16 gigs. Gigabyte 1080 Turbo, 2083 megahertz, MSI Tomahawk, boots in 18 seconds.
Nice,
Sounds like a pretty sexy system.
it's a nice rig.
Please send us some Alaskan beers.
Yeah,
As long as it's not Alaskan Amber, because I've had that one. I'm not actually sure if that's even from Alaska. I assumed it was because
it
it's
just
called
uses
Alaskan
the name
Amber.
Alaska, but
It could
it's
just
not-
use the name, but is an imposter beer. At any rate, I know very little about Alaskan craft brew, so send away.
Most of what I know about Alaska, I learned from Kane.
Mm-hmm.
He's originally
People
from
from Alaska are crazy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Kane is a crazy mofo.
Scott Dilbeck,
$12.
$12.
The 5 seconds Paul thought the hammer was going to work was priceless. And Paul, did you enjoy twisting animal balloons for money?
Scott, I will say it was a very good job to have right out of college, because I was able to work actually during college and towards the end of college, because I was able to just work on weekends, go to restaurants, make cash tips. Yeah, it's weird. I've worked at lots of different restaurants, but I've never actually been a server. I've done different jobs at different restaurants, but I've never been directly a server. But yeah, I mean, I would go to like an El Torito. We had regular accounts at different restaurants, so I'd go to like an El Torito or a TGI Fridays, and I'd work for like 3 hours and twist balloon animals for the people who were there, and for the little kids, and get some tips and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a good job for that time in my life.
El Torito.
El Torito, yes.
That's pretty fun. All right, next up we've got one from Deepman. Deepman for the $5.
Dirtman.
Dirtman, sorry. Kind of ironic that I'm sending you money, even though you're kind of holding a stack of cash.
It's true.
Whatever. Big fan, Bitwit.
Nice.
Thanks, man. That's super true. If I could just reach out to you and hand you $1, I totally would. Yeah, but thank you very much, Joseph Tischer for the $5. Balloon mechanical keyboard. No other comment. Balloon mechanical.
That's a challenge.
I feel like there's a light bulb.
That is a challenge.
Oh, he's saying make a mechanical keyboard out of
balloons, yes.
Real, genuine JRMX switches, too.
Yeah, oh yeah. That's totally possible.
David Prasa for the 50MX. Don't know what that is. Which microphone are you guys using? Do you have it above or in front of you? It's a Sennheiser.
It's right there.
It's a MKH something.
How much money did it cost?
It's a $1,000 microphone.
It's a $1,000 Sennheiser shotgun microphone.
Yes, it's incredibly high powered. It's let's see, it's the MKH 416. It's the 416. This is also the same microphone that a lot of other big YouTubers use. I know Ed from TechSource is a MKH user. I believe MKBHD as well. It's a very good microphone.
So it's a $1,000 microphone plugged into a like $80 soundboard.
Yeah, which could potentially explain why we've been having
be some of the
audio issues
having.
On this show.
Adam W, $10. I'm looking to buy a relatively silent RGB gaming keyboard. Should I go membrane or mechanical? Is wired better than wireless? Any specific model or switch recommendations? So if you want silent, there is specifically a Cherry MX silent switch that you might be interested in.
But I mean, like Cherry MX browns are just as quiet.
Browns and reds are both very quiet.
Yeah.
Quiet. They don't have the clickiness. I personally prefer browns because I like a little bit of tactical feedback as I'm bottoming out the key. I like the little bump there.
Me too.
Is wired better than wireless? I mean,
I'd go wired.
Yeah, I usually go wired. Wireless is acceptable.
It's finicky. It's still finicky for mechanical switches.
Yeah, I mean, you're never going to be more secure in your connection between your keyboard and your computer than with wired.
Yeah. So MX Speed or MX Brown or MX Red, depending on your preferences. I suggest you buy a little tester. If you're really serious about it, you can buy a little tester to test all the various switches to find out exactly which one you like best. And as far as the motherboard, or I'm sorry, the vendor themselves, I mean, you're pretty much good to go. As long as it's Cherry MX, it just depends on what kind of little features each one offers. Like we were saying earlier, Razer, Corsair, Ducky, Vermillo, all those brands make some good products. So it's a personal preference at that point. But I would go wired. I would say wireless mechanical switches, mechanical keyboards. Right now, there's a dearth of options. So for more stability and reliability, I would go wired. But thank you, Adam, for your donation.
Thanks, Adam.
Automatic Matt again, once again for $5. Check Twitter for Paul's clown Hawaiian job pick. Ooh, I can't wait to follow up with that. That sounds good. Whatever it is.
Trying.
I don't even care what it is. Is that it? That looks like closer to me. That looks more like me because it's an Asian dude with glasses. Although I was never a Hawaiian clown, so.
Hold on.
Are you looking this up? Paul's Hawaiian clown job. It sounds dirty.
Who is that?
Clown job.
That looks familiar.
He does look familiar.
I should know who that is. That's close though. I mean, Hawaiian shirt and the clown.
Did you have a clown
No.
wig like that?
No, I like Hawaiian shirt and shorts. That's all.
And the wig.
There's nothing clown related. There's no wig.
No wig.
Never a wig. Damn it. See? That's what I get for sharing my, I open up to you guys, share this personal information. That's what I get.
Did you give a lot of people dirty clown jobs? People
What? That's not
people in chat are just saying what happens at the end of a clown job.
That's not that's the thing.
I'm just losing.
What is that? I don't even
I'm
know what
losing
that
my
means.
sanity right now.
What is
It's not a thing
a clown
until
job?
now. Maybe you can enlighten us.
If I knew what it was, I would tell people. I like to share.
I'm broken. All right, let's move on. Rodimus for the $5 because you and Paul inspired a visually impaired guy to build his first PC.
Hey, cool.
P.S. Can a brother get a follow on Twitter? LOL. Rodimus. Everyone go follow Rodimus. Follow the shit out of Rodimus right now.
RODDIMUSS.
I'm glad we have inspired you in some way, Rodimus.
Yes, indeed.
That makes me happy. Scott Dilbeck, $6.66. What's the price of Pimp My PC reservations? There are no Pimp My PC reservations. It just has to come naturally. If I feel like a system is worthy of being critiqued and it sucks, no, not necessarily that it sucks, but has room for improvement. Generally, there are a lot of beautiful PCs that I'd love to show you guys every week, but there wouldn't be much for Paul and I to talk about on the critique side. So, can be a struggle. That's why every once in a while I'll do like an honorable mention or a special episode of Pimp My PC where it's pimped PCs or something like that. But, yep, that's how it goes. Sleepy21.
Good to know.
Yeah. Sleepy21 for the $10. Sup, guys? I bought the DG87, which is a EVGA case, I believe, and I'm planning on water cooling for the first time. I've watched many of your videos about water cooling. In your opinion, what's the most difficult or easiest thing about water cooling? The easiest thing is filling the loop. Because you're just pouring liquid into something and you gotta switch on the power and switch off the power before it goes down. It's pretty simple. There's a lot of easy things.
The most difficult thing is just practically dealing with the fact that you have a bunch of water that you're putting really close to a bunch of computer parts. The best way around that is to work with an external or a different power supply than the actual computer that you're working on in order to power your pump so you can cycle through the water and make sure that the loop is leak-free and all that kind of stuff. Doing that will give you a much more... It'll give you a much better experience. You won't be nearly as worried about leaks and that kind of thing. Because even if you get water on your fancy computer parts, your graphics card, your motherboard, or whatever, if the parts, if it's not on, if there's not electricity flowing through those parts,
just let it dry
when it
out.
happens, you can almost always dry it off as much as you can, let it dry out completely, and everything's usually pretty much fine after that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just the fact that water, electronics, like that's
not the best mix.
They're not supposed to go together, so you have to be careful with that. So
figuring out your runs can be tricky too.
Yeah.
Especially if you want to get creative with it and not just get the job done where I just need to go from A to B, but if you want to look aesthetically pleasing, figuring out your runs and how that's all going to look in the end can be really tricky. Especially because sometimes you have a limited number of fittings to work with. Some of them are only straight angle, some of them are right angle, some of them are 45 degree, etc. And you sometimes have a limited number of options to determine what the route is going to look like. And you, of course, have a vision in your mind sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't work out. There's a lot of improvisation that goes on, I feel like, with custom water cooling. But it's all part of the experience and can be very rewarding if you follow through with it. So, good luck.
Indeed.
Good luck. Thanks, Sleepy. All right, let's roll through these last few pretty quickly because we're short on time. Not a real potato. $5. Can one of you say Parangaricutirimecuaro? Real word. Name. Google it. I just said it. Duh. Easy. I'll do it again.
Parangaricutirimecuaro. Wait.
Quaro.
Parangaricutirimecuaro.
Cutirimiquaro.
Parangaricutirimecuaro. Parangaricutirimecuaro. I think I'm getting pretty close. Parangaricutirimecuaro. It sounds vaguely
It's
Spanish.
a tongue twister that many Hispanics use, sometimes used as teasing someone who repeats everything you say. Then you say that word and you end up winning.
Oh. All right. Well, that's good to know.
Well, there you go.
Parangaricutirimecuaro.
That's what I'll name my future child. Tyler Bradley,
Try.
$5. Hold on, what's up?
really quick. I need you first.
Okay, carry on.
Okay, Tyler Bradley, $5. Tell me, where is Gandalf? For I much desire to speak with him. Also, hi. He fell. Sorry. Hypothetical Pizza, $5 donation. Do you need a video editor? I need a job. I can't figure out how to attach my resume to this. Hypothetical Pizza, that is a very good question. As far as needing an editor, I know that Kyle has an editor who he, I believe, is going to be hiring on. I don't want to speak too much for Kyle here, but I believe he's bringing him on as a either full-time or part-time or paying him more money or something like that. I have an editor. His name is Joe, who I work with. And we've been working with for quite some time, and he does a pretty good job for me. So I can't say I'm looking for a video editor right now, but yeah, make a reel. Make a reel so that you can post, say, here's a YouTube link with my reel. Here's stuff I've edited that I'm proud of, and that's a good way to attach your resume to stuff like that.
Yoda1.
Yoda1.
$5. What water block system would you recommend for EVGA for the Win 3 GTX 1080 Ti? My card running so hot that I can cook a steak well done. I only need system for GPU. Water block system. Water block EK water blocks makes fantastic quality products that I'm sure that you would enjoy. I have the most experience with EK over other brands. I've worked with their blocks and their products the most, and I've been satisfied pretty much 100% of the time. I can't speak. I know that there are other great brands out there.
For that card, you're going to need a block that's designed specifically for that card, because the EVGA for the Win 3 1080 Ti
It's a custom PCB.
does have a custom PCB. So that's going to be your main concern. What are your options with water blocks that actually fit that card? And I believe EK makes one. I'd also check like Alpha Cool. They're another good one. Beyond that, like Kyle, my water cooling experience is a little bit more limited. So
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, EK has several good kits that you can buy that are contained and do a pretty good job.
Yeah. Not a real potato. $5. From me to the clown. Buy some balloons.
Ballons, he said ballons,
Ballons.
which is French for
Oh.
balloon.
Buy some ballons. Buy some balloons.
99
Right next to your
ballons.
escargot. Richter. $5.
Richter.
$5 on the Richter scale. Hey, I have a Ryzen 5 1600 looking to upgrade my GPU. Have an old 962 gig. When do you think GPU prices will go down, and what pairs best with the 1600, the Ryzen 1600? I don't know when GPU prices will go down to what they were before the crypto mining craze. I really don't. I don't follow that very closely. It happens when it happens to me. Going with a 1600, I would say GTX 1070 and below, RX 56
You
and
might
below.
check interim upgrades for stuff that maybe isn't like upgrading to the best of what's available right now, but something that's much better than a 962 gig, like a GTX 970. You might be able to find a good deal on, and that would be a nice jump from a 962 gig to a 973.5 gig.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, other than that, look for stuff that's not super popular when it comes to cryptocurrency, like a 1060. You might be able to find a better deal on 3 gig or 6 gig. Or if you're interested in investing a bit more money, then wait for 1070 prices to come down, because in my opinion, that's still kind of where you get the best bang for your buck.
Yeah,
At least if you can find one that's at a reasonable price.
indeed. Hypothetical pizza, $5. I was joking. I have a degree. I'm not that desperate yet.
Okay, I believe you.
You sound kind of desperate. Just saying.
I'd hypothetically like some pizza soon.
Pizza. Fred Rant, once again, $5. Yes, because your initial donation was not enough. Fred, you crazy bastard. Change name from Pimp My PC to Fashion PC Police.
That would be appropriate.
That's pretty cool. Call here. I'm going
Sell.
on vacation for...
Sell.
Oh, that's Cell?
Sell press.
Oh, Cell here. Sorry, I read that as call.
Cell put a final note for us.
Why hello, Cell? Okay.
Spider's going to be the mod next week, so Cell's going to be gone. So everyone who wanted to misbehave in chat, next week is your week.
Now you get to get
Cell,
banned
thank
by
you
Spider.
for your constant devotion to our live stream, and I hope you have a really good time at the line next weekend.
Yeah, enjoy.
In the meantime, if you guys are watching live and you'd like to continue the fun, we're going to do a Twitch raid over to Goobers
Twitch
515. So, twitch.tv/Goobers, GOOBERS 515.
Yeah.
Go over there, tell them that we sent ya.
Yup.
It's a good old-fashioned Twitch raid, and I hope you guys have fun over there. Thanks to Cell for moderating. Thanks to Spider for being here moderating as well. Thanks to the guys who watched the live today.
Indeed.
We do have some final
Yes.
shout-outs for Johnson's,
Totally forgot about that.
which I forgot on my half, and Kyle forgot on his half. So, big old Johnson to Ken. Thank you, Ken, from Minnesota. Thank you so much for buying. Wait, what did you buy? You got a thumbscrew shirt. Thanks, Ken, for that.
Matthew, BIOS Flasher shirt and a fidget spinner. Thank you very much, sir. Johnson, to you.
Big thanks to John. Also got the standard white logo shirt. Lovely.
Dwight Johnson for picking up a Bitwit Gray logo tri-blend t-shirt.
And Dwight gets a double Johnson.
Double Johnson.
Dwight from Arkansas got the white logo shirt from me as well. Thank you so much, Dwight.
Yay, thank you all so much for
Wonderful.
watching. We will be back again next Tuesday. Same time, same place. Hopefully we'll be actually at Paul's place next week. But same internet place.
I hope
Same
it's
digital place.
cooler next week, though.
Yeah. Me too. Hopefully we'll have fans in a couple weeks too over here. But go ahead and raid Goobers. We're going to go ahead and host them right after we cut. Have a good one, guys.
Bye, guys. Have a good one.